Hello, welcome to Idios Gaming. I just wanted to make a video regarding Kingdom Hearts missing link as far as what's going on with the development situation. So let's get into it. So unfortunately, Kingdom Hearts missing link has been delayed. This was announced via Twitter. I do not have a Twitter. However, I did try to search and find the Twitter post myself, but I didn't have any luck. What's interesting to me is how long ago the closed beta was. I'm over here in North America. It was about 5 months ago. I believe it was from May 2nd to May 10th, so about a week they offered the closed beta over here in North America. I guess what I personally find weird about that is how long it seems it took for them to actually announce this delay. You would assume, at least from my understanding, that after the closed beta they would have at least enough information and understanding of their game to give a realistic timeline. But I do understand things happen, and obviously that's why we're here now. I guess I'm just a little torn up because there's an indefinite kind of delay at the moment with no specific window. From the videos and things I read, it was nothing too drastic. But it has been quite a few months since all this happened, like I said, so I do want to go ahead and go over some posts that I had saved on Reddit that were kind of like closed beta reviews from people who had access. And so I'm going to go ahead and go over that here just real quick, and so we can kind of get an inside idea of what was going on with the closed beta. This is from Reddit user PerfectLiche4487, and I will be posting the link to this and all the gameplay videos as well in the description of the video. They went over a lot of really good topics. I'm going to touch my top 3 or 4 on their list. Just because they did have quite a few. So first thing is going to be in regards to the battery life. From what I remember back during the closed beta, this was a big issue across the board from all reviews. This game does seem to be consuming quite a bit of power, even with the newer phones. I think they even had some sort of optimization mode to kind of make the battery life extended, but from my understanding, that just wasn't enough. And like I said, I think what ended up happening was it wasn't compatible with some older phones just because they weren't able to perform up to par for what this game was requiring. Kind of a good and bad thing from my perspective and seeing this gameplay. This is running practically like a full standalone KH title. What I mean by that is a lot of side games get side mechanics and new mechanics and kind of subpar graphics, and I think what ends up happening is it leads to an overall dissatisfying experience when you're expecting something more like the mainline titles like 1, 2, and now 3. So like I was saying, from everything I'm seeing, this looks to be more like a mainline entry KH title as far as structure of the game. So that's actually going to bring me to the second part of this review where they start getting into the battle mechanics and how the actual gameplay performs. So if you're familiar with KH, this is going to make sense to you, but it was described to be very similar as far as the combat performs as Birth by Sleep, but less floaty. Essentially, what they're referring to, if you've never played Kingdom Hearts, is the combat can vary from game to game, being developed by different teams, sometimes resulting in, I guess you could say, a little bit of a lag, not necessarily a lag, but a different feel behind the inputs when doing your basic combos and combo canceling. So it can lead to a different overall battle/gameplay experience. However, though, from this review, it does sound like they're heading towards the right direction, as most people don't like the floaty gameplay style. To me, honestly, I can adapt. I like them both. I understand why people don't like it completely, but at the same time, some of those KH titles that have those gameplay mechanics that are floaty are some of the best KH titles in the series, so I can't necessarily say I don't like them. Okay, moving on to the third point that I wanted to go over, it does regard the GPS system. I guess in more specifically the farming aspect of the GPS roaming or GPS function on the game. So essentially the big problem that this user pointed out was that there's no prevention from anyone using a car or a vehicle to go ahead and drive around and farm for items. Now, I could see how that could potentially be a problem, especially for people who are playing from home and can't drive. It's quite a fair advantage. I remember Pokemon Go went through something very similar because when it first started off, you were actually able to spawn Pokemon while you were driving. And some people would just drive around and catch a ridiculous amount of Pokemon or drive around and hit those stops and just farm a ridiculous amount of items, which personally I don't see a problem with, but I could definitely see how potentially that could cause some conflict, especially as far as people saying it's supposed to be fair between the people playing at home versus actually getting out and doing stuff. Alright, so this is another point tying actually back into the combat again. So what the problem here is there's no incentive to play the combat normally versus on autoplay. From my understanding, the autoplay does everything correctly and it performs normally normally, so there's no real reason for you to sit there and play manually. I think this is an easy fix. Obviously, they just need to include some sort of incentive for you sitting there and performing these combos, or, you know, using the pieces yourself. Something small, but at the same time could be very big if they don't address it correctly, because auto playing through a game doesn't sound very fun. Okay, shooting cross. And to me, definitely does not capture the essence of Kingdom Hearts as far as gameplay goes. Alright, so if you made it this far, you must be a nerd. Thank you so much for hanging out, going over this review with me. There's some sweet footage out there of Missing Link if you want to get back into it and get your hype train rolling again. I do have another video or two coming out as far as Missing Link information, or maybe even just speculation as far as Kingdom Hearts. I love Kingdom Hearts lore, so yeah, so thank you again for nerding out with me. I appreciate it. If you like what I'm doing, like my content, please like, subscribe. I'm going to be pushing out more videos ASAP, so have a good one. Peace out.